05K. Okay, for today's biology class, we will talk about photosynthesis. Okay, here is the lesson overview, the objectives and the keywords. For lesson overview, photosynthesis is an energy production process undertaken by plants and algae. It consists of various steps during which energy coming through sunlight is converted into stored chemical energy. It has special importance also for animals and humans because of the secondary product of reaction in oxygen necessary for the respiration of living organisms. So learning objectives for you students should be able to understand from our lesson for today is you students should be able to explain the difference between light-dependent and light-independent reaction in photosynthesis. And also you students should be able to define photosynthesis and write its chemical equation and describe the step-by-step process of the light-dependent reaction in the thylakoid membrane. So here the keywords that you should get out from what the lesson I'll be teaching you guys. So for photosynthesis, chloroplast, chlorophyll, thylakoid plants, carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, energy, oxygen, and glucose. So here is the definition of photosynthesis, which is the process by which phototrophs converted light energy into chemical energy, which later be used to fuel cellular activities. The chemical energy is stored in the form of sugars which are created from water and carbon dioxide. So we will be doing a short discussion, just a warm discussion about photosynthesis. So here are just 4 questions. So I want you guys to group up in just a small group or just turn to your next partner to write down these questions. So it is just simple because of what you've learned from last year. So explain what photosynthesis is, what is the meaning of the word, which organism can perform photosynthesis, and what is the use of photosynthesis. So the chemical equation of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water to form glucose plus oxygen. So this is the balanced chemical equation. There are 4 differences between the light-dependent and light-independent reaction of photosynthesis. So number 1 is why the name. For light reaction, it is a light-dependent process involves 2 photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. For dark reaction, light-independent process, no photosystem is required. The second difference is site of the reaction. For light reaction, it occurs at the grana of the chloroplast, thylakoid membrane of grana of chloroplast. For dark reaction, it occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. The third difference is output. For light reaction, ATP and NADPH is produced, and they are used in the dark reaction. For dark reaction, glucose is produced, NADPH is oxidized to NADP and H+, and ADP is formed after dephosphorylation of ATP. The fourth difference is photolysis of water. For light reaction, photolysis of water takes place and oxygen is liberated. For dark reaction, no photolysis of water. Carbon dioxide is fixed. Okay, the step-by-step process of light-dependent reaction. Number 1, photon absorption. So the first one for photon absorption is light absorption. So it is chlorophyll and other pigments in the thylakoid membrane absorb photons of light. The absorption exits electrons to a higher state. Okay, for photosystems, the absorbed light energy is transferred to the two types of photosystem, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Each photosystem contains a reaction center where the energy is concentrated. For step 2, photolysis of water, the splitting of water. First, the splitting of water. In photosystem 2, the existing electrons are passed to the electron transfer chain. To replace these lost electrons, water molecules are split, photolysis into oxygen, protons, H plus, and electrons. Okay, for oxygen production, the splitting of the water produces oxygen gas, which is released as a byproduct and exit the plant through the stomata. Okay, for third, it is the electron transport chain. The electron transport chain, electron transfer, the exited of electrons travel through the electron transport chain, a series of proteins embedded in the thylakoid membrane. These transfer the electrons. Electrons releases energy, which is used to pump protons into the thylakoid lumen. For proton gradient, the movement of proton into the thylakoid lumen creates a proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane. For step 4, ATP synthesis, chemiosmosis, the proton gradient drives the synthesis of ATP and ADP and inorganic phosphate through a process called chemiosmosis. This occurs via ATP synthase, an enzyme embedded in the thylakoid membrane. For ATP production, ATP is produced and released into the stroma, where it will be used in the Calvin cycle. And the last step is NADPH formation. Photosystem 1. For photosystem 1, electrons from the electron transfer chain release photosystem 1, reach photosystem 1, where they are re-existed by light absorbed by photosystem 1. These high energy electrons are transferred to the NADP plus to form NADPH. The NADPH production, NADPH is produced and released into the stroma, where it will be used in the Calvin cycle. So here is the pictures that shows about the step-by-step process of the light-dependent reaction. Okay, so we will go through a summary again. Photosynthesis, or photo meaning light, and synthesis to build, and it is where plant build their own food. And it is a chemical process that occurs in plant algae and some types of bacteria when they are exposed to sunlight. Okay, so the reactants for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide and water, and the product is glucose and oxygen. The difference between light-dependent and light-independent reaction of photosynthesis is first, why the name, second, site of the reaction, and third, the output, and fourth, photolysis of water. And lastly, we have gone through the step-by-step process of light-dependent reaction. So there are 5 steps, which is number 1, photon absorption, 2, photolysis of water, 3, electron transport, and 4, ATP synthesis, and lastly is the NADPH formation. So if you guys have any questions regarding this, our lesson for today, you can ask.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you elaborate more on the step 1 of light-dependent reaction, photon absorption?
Okay, for photosynthesis, for light absorption, as I already have mentioned, it's the chlorophyll and other pigments in the thylakoid membrane absorbs photons of light. The absorption exists electrons to higher state. So that is the light absorption.
Thank you.